this.
Okay.
But there's a rumor that there's this intimidating toothbrush that's been terrorizing
Listen.
people. And so,
Listen, Linda.
Have you been ran out of your
honey,
home?
listen.
Have you been ran out of your home because of an electric toothbrush or something?
I really did think I was praying over my family. I was praying that we would not have a bomb go off in our home. Nobody knows what we're talking about.
No.
I don't even know.
Do you want me to tell you guys what happened?
I'm afraid to
Okay.
hear this. I'm afraid.
So it was a Monday morning a week ago, and I sleep really hard on Sunday nights because Sunday's a really, really big day for ministry, for worship leading and stuff. And so like I was out and I was awoken from a dead sleep by a terrible noise. And it sounded
Sounds like a Christmas story.
That's what I was thinking.
And what was a clatter?
Listen, it sounded like someone was sawing through my wall and there was water, like a waterfall. And I called Justin, I put it on speakerphone and I said, babe, this is not good. Like something really, really bad has happened. He's like, I'm just now pulling into the plant. And I'm like, it's really bad. And he goes, okay, I'm pulling away from the plant. and he came home and for 25 minutes, that's how long it takes him. I prayed and I called him again. I said, do I need to take the kids for safety? I got the dogs out of our room because I thought that my room was going to blow up and we were all going to die. I was really, really scared. And he came home and
And what was it, Lindsay? What was it?
he opens the shower door and he said, babe, looks like my toothbrush fell off the ledge and somehow got turned on. Turned the toothbrush off. And we were saved, my hero.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm a little bit shocked. So, can I speak on behalf of the audience?
Please.
Here's what everybody, y'all feel free to chime in and tell everybody that you're agreeing with me here.
Yes.
So I learned a lot about you already. So here's the question.
Okay.
You know, there are on this planet, when something happens, there are a million possibilities.
Yes.
You went straight to the house is going to blow up.
I went straight to the Lord in prayer.
Well, that
for
was
my house.
After your house is going to blow up. I mean, why couldn't it have been that there is a mole who has bore into your house?
Listen, when I was like in
How about,
when I was in
tiny
middle
little-
school, our water
It was
heater
an Al-Qaeda
exploded.
mole. It was
okay?
gonna blow up. Okay.
Our water heater exploded when I was in middle school.
Well,
in the
that's-
bathroom right next to my.
Not only do I, I get a lot out of your sense of humor and just the way, just how kind and open you are, but also just the way you get into things is, for someone like me, it's great to be around because it's shown me a brand new way to be able to live. So I can't possibly say enough good things about you except that I love you.
Terry, you have made a huge impact in my life. I'm so grateful that God has brought you into my life. As much as you have poured out, I still feel like you are this pool of wisdom that we've yet only had sips of.
The big overarching takeaway for me that I appreciate is you're the real deal, right? You're the genuine article, and you live what you talk about. You don't just say you can do this, you can do that. You actually run and operate and live in that lifestyle business, not just talk about it as a theory.
I'll speak for me for a moment. In my life, oftentimes, I go in and I push that button, and I push it gingerly in the hopes that I can get one of the rings to go up and hit the hook. And whenever it's your turn to talk, you kind of say, Case, move over for a second and take that button and jam it and hit it 19 times to get every ring flying in the air. And that's kind of the feeling that I have whenever you talk. It's like, wait a minute, let's shake this up a little bit. Let's shake the snow globe and see what happens. Like right now, Terry, I am so inspired after listening to you for the last 25, 30 minutes to go back and do about 400 things, of which I might have done one prior to you talking, but you got me so jazzed up to go in there and accomplish something because, often we need people like that, with agitators, somebody to come in and agitate things and say, hey, look, you can do a lot more than you're doing. Look at me. And Terry, I've always liked looking at you, and I'm hopeful that I can be more like you going forward, so thank you for everything.
I'm still blown away by your story. It's incredible. And so it's just so inspiring. And so, I mean, I feel like you embody that. Like when I think about you, it's hard to separate you from that incredible story that you have. And so it's such a gift to us to get to just be in the presence of someone who has that story and who has come as far as you have. And with that, the second word was experience, because with that, you just bring so much experience. There's so much value in what you say. Amazing coach. So like just vast experience. I feel like you're able to speak into so many of our lives in so many different situations. And it's always like on point and helpful and thoughtful. And then the third was humble, because I feel like you do all of that with so much humility. Like you don't, I feel like you don't pat yourself on the back a lot, or, say, oh, I'm this great person. It's kind of hidden behind this, oh, I've just got a little comment here for you, filled with all of this value.
When I think of Terry Wilson, I think about the comeback kid. Your original story of how you built the piano business and how the market of 2007, 2008, that crash, and how you came back and you built something that is what it is today. And yet here you are.
Hey, Terry. Well, I think today has just demoed exactly the brilliance that you share. The humor, it's guaranteed that every time that Terry's got the mic, there's going to be laughter amongst the group. And I'll extend that into honoring your skills as an interviewer and as a podcast, because I had jumped on a few months ago because I hadn't listened to your podcast, and content can draw us in, but the people who lead the conversation and the skill behind that, I was pleasantly surprised and impressed, and I've kept you in my circle because of that. So I think the lens in which you see the world is so amazingly beautiful. I love that you're real. You talk sports, you talk music, you talk the things that come to our heartbeat of being a part of this country. And it draws people in, and I'm one of those individuals. And I also think you're genuinely gentle, sincere, and you're like, a cousin or an uncle that, I just want to hang out with more and more each time. So, you light us up, and that's not something easy to do week in and week out, in just the waves of our own lengths and the commitments that we have in our circles. So I am grateful for all that you bring to us and all that you've shared with us, and definitely the laughter as well. So,
what's up, Fire Nation? Another bonus episode coming your way. This one was a great chat. I had a lot of fun with Terry Wilson. Terry is a serial entrepreneur who offers entrepreneurs and solopreneurs the tools, training, and technology needed to earn and enjoy more. For the past 13 years, he's helped thousands of hungry individuals discover their thing, develop the skills to do it, and be given a strategy to deliver it to market and produce value. Terry has a weekly podcast that can be heard on iTunes, Stitcher, and at terrywilson3.com. He also wrote a book called You Are Worth More, which you can check out at youareworthmorebook.com. We have a lot of fun in this episode, Fire Nation. I truly hope you enjoy. It's hard. It is hard work to achieve uncommon success. But you know what else is hard, Terry? Being broke.
You better believe that.
Living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to support your loved ones, not being able to support yourself, not being able to get up in the morning and do something that you want to do, but doing something you have to do. That's hard too. So Terry, my call to action for everybody here is choose your hard. Like back in 2012, it was hard. I spent 32 years of my life doing hard work and making the wrong decision on choosing my hard. I was going down the wrong path. I wasn't having any success. But then I flipped it and I said, you know what? Building this business, Entrepreneurs on Fire, it's going to be hard work. But the alternative is hard too. So I choose the hard of building a life of freedom, of building a life of choice, of building a life of uncommon success. And that's my call to action to everybody hearing our voices today. Choose your hard.
Choose your hard. Boy, I love that. Because there's a high cost of low living. And sometimes we think that, we're just going to get out of this easy by taking the path of least resistance. And boy, sometimes the end of that path is just a tiger. I'm telling you, brother,
Identify your big idea. Not be a weak, pale imitation of somebody else's big idea, which most people do. They're like, oh, look at what Terry's doing. He's so successful. Look what John's doing. I'll just copy them. And then you wonder why you fail, because you're a weak, pale imitation of those people and you will never win as a result. You need to come up with your big idea your zone of fire and wake up every day on fire, living that life. That is the life that you deserve. Because what at the end of the day do we really want? Freedom. The ability to wake up and do what we want, where we want to do it, with whom we want to do it with. If you have those three things, what more is there in life? And you can give yourself that gift. Just take it.
Which is identifying, why are you here? You know, I like to say it this way. You're not a cosmic accident. You didn't show up on planet Earth because lightning struck a mud puddle billions of years later and you crawled out. You're a significant person with a significant reason for being here. There's a reason for you to be here. And once you identify that big idea, as John just said it, life becomes, oh my gosh, becomes unimaginable. Give us go ahead.
Just on that point real quick. I mean, I think it's so key for people to understand this, like what Terry is just sharing. There is so much wisdom out there in this world, but there's also so much noise and it's chaotic. And sometimes it's so hard to really cut through all of this and to really get to the meat and potatoes, to really get down to what matters.
Does anyone know Terry's story, what Terry did?
I do.
So Terry sold musical instruments, sold pianos, right? And what was it? Was it 9/11 that created the problem?
Yeah.
9/11 creates a problem. Nobody wants to go. There's no money in town anymore. It's a brick and mortar store. Some woman comes up to him in church, some older woman, and she's like, I was thinking about your problem, and the Lord told me you should sell them on the computer. Sell your pianos on the computer. And Terry's like, that's a great idea. I got to get out of here because you're crazy. So, of course, he does it in that sweet way where he says, oh, bless your heart. And
bless your heart.
He thinks about it. And then he's like, you know, he told me about the story about, you know, the guy, it's a flood and, you know, you should get out. No, the Lord's going to save me. And at the end, he goes to God and says, why didn't you save me? He's like, I did. You know, I tried. I sent you the news report. I sent you a helicopter. You know. So Terry takes that and he's like, God's telling me what to do here, right? So I should do. That was the message. I should sell these things online. His first thought when the woman tells him that is, how am I gonna, because she said her grandson sold CDs.
On eBay.
Terry's like, how am I, you could just put them, I can't put a stamp on a piano. This is crazy.
Drop it in the mailbox.
Yeah, so the next day, right? The next day he starts sells them out in a week. So he doesn't think about, he doesn't latch on to his idea of I can't ship these things cheaply, right? He just goes past that. He goes, well, what's my first solution? My first solution is I got to sell these things. That's all he's thinking about. He sells out his whole inventory in a week. Then the problem comes to him. How do I get rid of these things? I've now sold them. How do I deliver them? So what would you guys have done?
Hire a U-Haul and drive them out there.
Yeah, that's what Terry did. Terry got a truck and just was like, well, I'm gonna take my brother-in-law. We're gonna go around the country. We're going everywhere. And he delivered pianos for 2 weeks. That's amazing. And then, you know, and then he's like, oh, and the next thing is I talk to someone and he goes and he talks to the manufacturer and he's like, so, you know, where are these things? You know, if I want to get them, how do I sell them? And he doesn't go into the conversation with the idea of, I'm going to figure out how to make this more efficient for myself. Or maybe he does to a degree, but he doesn't make that his outward appearance. He's not desperate. He's desperate, but he doesn't portray desperation. He portrays, as he's talking to the person, he's asking them questions about their business, and they give him the keys to the kingdom. They tell him the whole layout. They tell him exactly how to run his business. Now, in Watergate, did you ever hear, like in the first week after Watergate, Woodward and Bernstein spoke to a Spanish guy down in Mexico, and the joke was, he told us exactly what happened, but we don't speak Spanish, so we lost the story. It turns out that was true. They got the whole thing in the first week, but didn't understand it. Terry got the whole thing in the first week and put it together. He hears, you have warehouses all over the country, so why don't I sell them and then you guys will just deliver them locally? He gets that in an instant. He doesn't think about the problem. He doesn't think they're not going to do it, any of this stuff. When I hear about Terry selling them and he just gets in a truck, my first thought with that is, I know.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com.
Decade of helping others
Discover, develop, and monetize your skills and talents at TerryWilson3.com.
This is the Terry Wilson. Really, I'm excited, Terry. I want to get started.
You're the real deal, right? You're the genuine article.
Right now, Terry, I'm so inspired after listening to you for the last 25, 30 minutes to go back and do about 400 things. You got me so jazzed up.
I'm still blown away by your story.
When I think of Terry Wilson, I think about the comeback kid.
You're like a cousin or an uncle that I just want to hang out with.
Terry, you have made a huge impact in my life.
Can't possibly say enough good things about you except it's that I love you.
Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
All right, all right. We're large. We're in charge. We're having life events if you want to come celebrate with us.
Here's our cash app.
Right, Reagan's got a cash app he's going to be giving out at the end of the show just to let everybody just come along with him and just celebrate.
That's a joke, by the way. Don't be the person that puts your cash app or your Venmo up.
High-tech panhandling is going to be our next episode in episode 472. But tonight in episode 471, we're talking about the power of no. No is such a powerful word. It's a word that strikes fear into the heart of every sales professional, entrepreneur, and influencer around. However, it's a word that doesn't have to be feared. As a matter of fact, the word no, when it's understood and properly utilized, can be the most profitable word that you both hear and say. So tonight, we're going to explore that with our friend, our colleague, and our close confidant, Mr. Chris Miller. Chris, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm in a great mood today.
All right, brother. Well, you looking good down there in Florida and in the Leadership Tree studio down there. So it's great to have you on the show tonight, and I can't wait for your training.
I can't wait to do it. I think it's going to be a blast. I hope a lot of people get some stuff out of it. And because the word no shouldn't really bother you. It really shouldn't. It's just the kind of thing that it doesn't really matter in the long run.
That's right. That's right. Love it. It's the way you frame it, isn't it?
It is.
It's all about context. It's all about the framing and what the meaning you assign to it. So I love it. And I can't wait to get into that training. I know you are going to be bringing the heat. So Chris is a radio personality at tw3radio.com, and he can be heard every week at 6 p.m. on Tuesday nights at tw3radio.com. And if you want to hear the rest of the story, because he's going to be introducing and opening this training up tonight, you can get over there tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and hear him do a deep dive into this training as well. So check him out. After Chris's training, I'll be interviewing later in the show in segment 3 a longtime friend and part of the TW3 family that I refer to as my future neighbor, Larry Dotson. Larry has been with us for over 6 years now and has done everything from being a golf pro, a salesman, a business professional, and a producer in multiple industries. And more than that, guys, he's just an all-around great guy. We love
Larry's a good guy. I love Larry.
Larry's a great guy. Chris is a great guy. We just got great people, and we're looking forward to hearing from them tonight.
Please like the show and share it with the hashtag TW3 Podcast 471. And at the end of the show, we'll look for that and then enter you into a You Are Worth More giveaway.
That's right.
Oh, we're giving away tickets?
Oh, yeah. Well, River said we were. It's not on the notes, but since he said it, we're...
Book, excuse me.
It's out there now.
It's out there now. We got
kind
to.
Of important to add that the book.
The book, the You Are Worth More book is what
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so don't share it. It's not worth it. I'm making a joke. It's a joke.
Matter of fact, go ahead and cut it.
Please share it. Submit your questions in the live chat if you're with us. We typically have members that are gracious enough to sort of help us out, so they'll answer those questions. If you're listening to this later and you want to submit your questions, you can go to terrywilson3.com/contact and submit your questions there.
That's right. And River did bring up the You Are Worth More conference. We are giving the book away, which is called You Are Worth More. It's the story of how, I was told several times, and I had to learn to really get to know that word, enjoy that word, experience that word, and wring that word out for everything it's worth, so that it didn't ultimately stop me. And I can't wait for Chris to get in that night. But if you want this book, all you got to do is share this podcast, like River was saying, with the hashtag TW3 Podcast 471. Yeah, 471, and we'll get that out. But The conference is September the 7th and 9th in Greenville, South Carolina. Tickets are on sale right now. Go to terrywilson3.com and get your tickets while they're still available. Listen, guys, you got to be there. You're going to meet Miller Time. You're going to meet Miss Spelling Bee. You're going to meet Greenbacks. You're going to meet all of these people that make the TW3 family so special. And it's just a great time. It is just a great time. It's informative. It's inspiring. It's illustrative. You're going to see different illustrations of how you can do different things. Podcast. I love podcasts. We're producing 5 podcasts a week now. We do webinars. We do Zoom calls. We do all kinds of things. And I love this technology, but nothing replaces that knee-to-knee, face-to-face, getting up in someone's grill and saying, Chris, tell me, how are you doing this? and he will, and he'll share that with you. And he's going to be there, and he's doing a training, so we can't wait for him to drop some value bombs at the conference as well. So it's going to be a great time. You got to be over there. Listen, there's not a dime better spent than money investing in yourself. And that comes in the forms of books. That comes in the form of, training and coaching. And it comes in the form of getting together in special times like this. The Bible calls these times kairos moments. It's the special times, moments and times where time seems to just stand still. And there's a special grace and a mercy on that time for people to really absorb. Because if you want to learn something, there's a reason why the military operates a certain way, where they just submerge people in a culture for a moment, so they can break them away from their family, their life, the things that they're used to seeing, their environment. You get them out of that, you submerge them into this new environment, this new reality, and boy, Chris, do you learn things in boot camp?
Yeah, I would say so. One thing you learn is to always be tired.
Exactly right. Whoo, talking about tired, buddy, you're going to get a kick out of this, Chris. So, I'm on this health journey. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get healthier and doing okay with it. And so today I wake up, my allergies are just all over the place. I'm allergic to cats, but the problem is my 2 youngest children have 2 cats that they love. And so it's a question of, do I sneeze a little bit and have the runny nose, or do I disappoint my children? So I think I'm going to have to disappoint the kids. I think
we've determined I'm going to disappoint the kids.
But we let them have the cats. And so, but when I run out of my allergy meds, boy, I can feel it. My skin starts to crawl. My eyes are watering and all this stuff. So on the way to gym today, I was like, I'm out of my medicine. So I swing by the store, I grab it, and I get the gel tablets because I need something fast acting right now. Well, the only problem is antihistamines already give me a little bit of a heart flutter and stuff anyway, even when I'm just standing still. So I pop that in, I go over there and I start my routine. I'm doing the presses, I'm doing the curls. And as I'm doing that, I'm noticing, boy, my blood pressure and my heart rate is really spiking here. Mm-hmm. That's weird. Boy, I'm getting a very effective workout here, Dave. I don't pay much attention to it. So I'm going,
there's a lot of medical people here that's like, this is awful.
This man really is a moron. It's not an act.
This guy's an idiot.
So I get over on that thing where you do sort of like the reverse curl, you lock your legs in and you hold a weight and you go down to the floor and then you come back up, and you're working.
It's like a glute workout.
It's a
lower
glute
back workout.
Yeah. Well, about 5-6 in, I'm like, the room's getting dark. I've got headphones on, and all of a sudden I don't hear Rush anymore playing. And I catch myself just in time to drop that weight and get off of it so that I can slumber to the floor and pass out for about a good 10 seconds. And Rose, one of the owners, sees me in the floor, just my eyes closed, laid out, and she kicks me on the foot. She goes, "Hey, you all right?" And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And I look down at my iWatch, and it says my heart rate is up to 170 beats per minute.
Oh, that's real good.
Yeah, I think that's very effective.
Yeah, that's great.
So follow me for more health advice and workout advice.
I'm just really enjoying all the people that are probably taking this really seriously. And then there's us who's like, that's pretty funny. He passed out in the middle of the dive. That's kind of funny. He passed out. No, so the reason I think we're a little bit more okay with you passing out, because I feel like a lot of people would take this really seriously and be like, hey, you should probably like consult your physician before you do any more workouts and stuff like that. For as long as I've known you, even when you were, small or bigger, it doesn't matter. you'll pass out if you laugh too hard.
Yeah, if my blood pressure shoots up to my head, there's a mechanism in me that's just like, I'm out.
It's just kind of in your nature to pass out.
Yeah.
And that's why eventually, unfortunately, you can't do anything but laugh. I mean, it is just funny.
Well, the problem, Chris, is my kids take sport with it. Who can make dad pass out? So they're always ribbing me and getting me.
Oh, that's the goal. If we can make you laugh hard enough, I'm like, oh, you can pass
Hey,
out.
watch this.
Make another joke.
Big man's going down.
Don't go fitting yourself for a halo just yet, you know.
Exactly. I got too much. Hey, I'm waiting on my Tesla. I can't go out right now. I got to wait till this thing comes in. I'm excited.
Maybe stop popping pills before you go work out.
That's the big thing.
I think that's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Take that at night, you know.
Just stick with amphetamines.
Yeah.
Before the workout. It's
Yeah.
better for your heart.
It is. That's always a good thing. Well, guys, when we get back, we got Miller Time in the house tonight, and he's going to be bringing the heat. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. He's always a great trainer. And listen, I don't know of anybody. You don't have to be in sales and business. No one likes to be told no. You know, we always want, it's that commercial of J.G. Wentworth. It's my money and I want it now. So
no.
So sometimes we can be intimidated by that word. But so I'm looking forward to this training that he's got, and I think you're going to love it as well. We get back right after this.
Hi, this is Linda Wilson Gordon with Insights with Linda. I'm talking to you today from the beautiful Pacific Northwest, literally right next to the Olympic Mountains, a truly gorgeous part of the country. I want to tell you just a little bit about me and my background. I currently coach and train financial services professionals and business owners across the country on how to make their business more profitable and how to reduce their federal tax bite. My insights have been gained over a 30-year career in the high-tech financial services, independent business, and entrepreneurial arenas. I really hope you'll join me Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on TW3 Radio, where I'll be talking and also interviewing guests about a variety of business and entrepreneurial insights, and also talking about mindset and what it really takes to succeed. If you have questions you would like to ask me, or you want to connect with me for any reason, you can always reach me on my website at lindawilson3.com. My podcast is streaming on TW3 Radio and also on the TW3 Radio app. It's also on demand on my website. I can't wait to connect with you there. And please do share with others you think would like to know a bit more about Insights with Linda. Insights gained from a 30-year career as an independent entrepreneur.
I know your dog is part of your family just like ours is here at TW3. And that is why I recommend Ollie's. Ollie's delivers fresh, healthy dog food made with real human-grade ingredients and is tailored to your pup's unique nutritional needs. It has zero fillers, no byproducts, artificial flavors, or preservatives. Ollie's combines carefully sourced ingredients and is vet-friendly. New customers of TW3 will receive 50% off of their box, and then standard billing will resume thereafter. So if you'd like to get this offer and get 50% off of your first box order, go to terrywilson3.com/Ollie. That's terrywilson3.com/OLLIE. Take care of your dog. It is, and he is, or she, part of the family. terrywilson3.com/Ollie.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
Let's get into that training now with Chris on the power of no.
Hey everybody, Chris Miller here for the Leader Tree podcast show here at TW3 Radio every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. And my friend Terry asked me to come on today and talk to you a little bit, see if I can impart some words of inspiration to you. Well, I couldn't think of any. So instead, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about something that I think might be useful to you instead. And what we're going to talk about today is rejection and the infamous word no, that I know a lot of people fear it. For many years, I used to fear it. If you fear the word no, if it bothers you, raise your hand. Put it in the chat. Say, yeah, I'm afraid of rejection. It's something that plagues a lot of people. And the word no gets around more often than you think. What do you know about the word no? Well, I love the word no, and I'm going to tell you why. It doesn't mean what it means to most people when someone says it to me. Okay? And I have made a lot of money off of that word over the years. I have made a lot of money off of people telling me no and then turning that no into a yes over the years, right? Because if you think about it, most people start with a no, right? Don't they? Think about it. Think about it in your own life. Don't you always start with a no and then you convince yourself into a yes, or somebody convinces you into a yes, right? It's like an instant automatic response. And why wouldn't it be? We've been bombarded with the word no from the day we were born. It's usually the very first word somebody learns. And they grow up, their teachers are telling them no, their parents are telling them no. They're saying, don't do this, don't do that. No, 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 no. Right? You got your pastors are telling you no, your priests are telling you no, your doctors are telling you don't do this, your dentist is telling you don't do this. They're all telling you no, 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 no. Right? As you grow, then you got your bosses are telling you no. You got your friends are always telling you no. You got everybody you know is always telling you no. And what do? You turn around, you do it to your own kids, right? It's self-propagating, right? And I know, because I did it to my own kids, right? But think about this question. How committed are you to the use of that word when you say it? Makes you think about it for a second. How committed are you to the use of the word when you say it? I'll give you an example. Recently, I was at the grocery store with my son, and he said, I want this. And I said, nah, I don't want you to have that. It's not good for you. He looked at me and he goes, Dad, come on. I said, okay, whatever. It didn't take him but a second. It didn't take him but a second to turn my no to a yes, right? Because I didn't have any attachment to that word. It was a cursory thing. It was a automatic response, and that's what these things are. So when someone tells you in your life, no, what are you going to do about it? You can take it in two ways. You can take it as what it is, a cursory response where they don't really know what they want yet, right? And they just need to convince themselves that this is the right thing for them, whatever that happens to be. Or you could take it as a flat response, no, and feel like you've been rejected, right? How many times you ask a girl out and she's all like, no, right? Or girls, how many times have you done that? You see a guy, you like the guy, and he comes over and asks you out, you say no, right? Why? Because you want to see if he's going to willing to work for it, maybe? I don't know what your mentality is behind it. But what I do know is, with very little prompting sometimes, he can turn that no into a yes, right? Because maybe you want him to. I don't know. The same is true in business. No's are not hardcore. They're softball, okay? They lob them out there like they're going out of style, and they're hoping that one's going to cross over. They're hoping one's going to make it to stop you in your tracks. But you just keep swinging until you hit the right mark. That's the key to overcoming objections. It's simple. It really, really is simple. So, don't look at no's as an NO, right? Look at no's as KNOWs, meaning what they're saying to you is not a flat response. They're not saying they don't like you. They're not saying, I don't like your product. I don't like your service. I don't like you. They're not saying those things. What they're saying is, I'm not sure. It's KNOW. They're saying, I don't know enough at this moment to make a logical decision. Please tell me more. Okay? And that's a key thing to remember. Because if you take it as the first one, you're going to be like, okay, maybe I'll follow up with you in a couple of days. Well, what's going to happen when you follow up with them in a couple of days? Have they thought about it? No. Come on. Once they're off the phone with you, they're not thinking about you anymore. They might think about it for like a couple of minutes just because it's fresh in their mind, but then it's gone, man. First time they see a commercial on TV, you know, first time they see something that happens, like, or their dog rolls over and plays like, you know, last thing on their mind is your conversation. I'm just telling you flat out, that's reality. Okay? They're not sitting there thinking over and over again about, well, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should. I don't know. They're not doing it. It's not happening. Okay? So you've got to be proactive. And the best way to be proactive is not to get up to begin with. Right? When I was a vice president at a company, national tax tracking company, I started off as a regional vice president, a low guy on the totem pole, and I had a region that was supposed to bring in about $300,000 for the year in sales, right? I brought in over $1.2 million for that year. How did I do that? Well, that's what they wanted to know. And I told them, I said, well, if you want to know the answer, that's going to cost you. And that's how I became that's how I became the vice president of sales. And that's how I took my career up, right? But what did I do? Let me tell you. What I did was I called on prospects that had turned us down. Everybody and their cousin was calling on prospects, on new prospects, right? And starting on that process. Well, the sales cycle was about a 4-month cycle, right? So it was from the time you met one prospect till the time you closed the sale, it was a 4-month sales cycle. That was the average, okay? I didn't want to wait 4 months to close some sales. I needed to get things done now, right? So I thought about it and I said, how can I get there? My answer came back, call back the people that we've already started that cycle with, right? So you've got guys that are out there, they've done a lot of the legwork already for me, and they've laid the groundwork. So now all the prospects I'm calling already know who we are. They already know about the product. They've already said they don't want it. They said no. But out of 11 deals that I closed that were high profile deals that year, 7 of them, that's more than half, came from the list of people who had already told us no. All I did was I called them up and I said, I understand that we have been talking to you for a while and that you ultimately decided not to go with us. I'm just curious to know, what was it that slowed you down? What was it that you decided you weren't happy with? What was it we couldn't provide, etc., etc. Okay? Get them to open up, get them to explain to you what the problem is. Why are they saying no? Once you have that information, fix it. Bada bing, bada boom, you've got a yes. I brought in $1.2 million for an area that was good for $300,000. Okay? Then I did the same thing with the rest of the country the next year after they promoted me up. I had everybody doing it. It was a smart business plan and a smart way to grow company revenues. Now, when you have your little company and you want it to be a big company one day, right? You do the same thing, right? You got a big company and you want it to be a huge company. You do the same thing. Call them back, or don't even let them go to begin with. Just keep them on the phone and ask them, well, what is it that you're not happy with exactly? What is it about it that's scaring you? What is it about what we're offering that you're not sure of? A lot of times it's going to come down to they just don't want to spend the cash. They're going to say, I don't have the money. But that's not the truth. Everybody can get money when they want to get money, right? Everybody, I won't put this to you closely. Everybody can get money when they need it badly enough. So to say to me, I don't have the money, I'm not buying that nonsense. I'm in the money business. I know you can get the money. I know how easy it is to get the money if you want it. So that's not the real objection. The real objection is not the money. So you got to dig deeper. You got to say, okay, so you don't have the money. Do you like the service? Do you like the product? I do or I don't. What about it do you not like? What about it do you like? You start down what's called the Ben Franklin close, right? The Ben Franklin close is just weighing your pros and your cons, right? And they call it that because I guess Ben Franklin is the guy who started doing it to begin with, and it caught on. Who knows? But that's what I've been told. I don't know if it's accurate or not, to be honest with you. But that has been what I've been told. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I like this, I don't like that. I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this, I don't like that. Okay, well, what if I could find you a solution that gave you more of this and less of that? You know, would that be a good setup for you? Or do you think maybe you can use this in the future? That's a good question. Now you've got them thinking, right? What if I could set something up for you that would get you exactly what you're looking for? Can we go ahead and get this done? Now maybe you give them an option to go in on a couple of payments. Let's split your payment by 2, or split your payment by 3, All of a sudden now you're working with him. He's working with you, and you've got a dynamic going on that you can close. Okay? Because no doesn't mean no. It means I don't know enough to make a logical decision. Please tell me more. Folks, this has been a blast. I have had a good time here tonight. I love every one of you guys and gals, and I am so happy to be a member of the TW3 network and to have my show hosted on the TW3 radio station every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about all sorts of cool stuff just like this and more. Hey, and if you have never taken the opportunity to check out our show, maybe you should come and check it out. I mean, maybe this is your time. Maybe this is your time. This is your moment. Yeah, come on down. We're going to be on the air tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a bang-up show. I have got some amazing things planned. We're going to be doing a follow-up episode to the one that I did last week, where we're talking about business credit, how to get established with it. This week, we're going to be talking about the importance of business credit and how to best use it in your business. So don't miss it. Come on down and be part of it at tw3radio.com tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern. I look forward to having everybody there. I know it's going to be a bang-up time. So if you haven't seen the other episodes and haven't followed the podcast before, you can follow us at theleadertree.com. You can get on the mailing list there. All of our past episodes are there, as well as resources and everything there. You can also join us at the Leader Tree Network on Facebook. It's our private Facebook group there, where all the leaders in our group get together and talk about important things and things that are going on and help each other out. So that's something that you can join up as well. All right. I'm Chris Miller, reminding you to always keep smiling. Find us at tw3radio.com every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there are a lot of other cool shows out there at tw3radio.com. By the way, I'm only one of them, folks. So check them all out throughout the day. They're awesome. Everybody here has been doing just a fantastic job of helping entrepreneurs, and I love it. So you guys, thanks for having me on the show, Terry. Thanks for having me in the studio. I've had a great time, and you guys have a fantastic night. Bye-bye.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
All right, we're back. Just want to give a big thank you to Chris for that awesome training. If you enjoyed it, make sure you let him know. He did an awesome job. Before we get into our questions here that Chris and Terry will be answering, we have an interview with our friend Larry Dodson that we're going to get into. You can go to LarryDodson1.com. That's the number one, LarryDodson1.com, to check out more of his content.
Thanks, guys, and what a great training there by Miller Time himself, talking about the word no, the power of no, and being fearful of rejection. I tell you, that's something that we all have to overcome, especially in sales, is always worried about being rejected and the offer being declined and feeling like we're putting ourselves out there, we're a little exposed, and then all of a sudden, they didn't give us the affirmative, and learning how to not internalize that and make that, something personal. That's a big deal. And a lot of people don't give place to that. I know a ton of people that I've talked to over the years saying, hey, you got a great personality. You ought to get in sales. And that one little thing, being afraid of the word no and being afraid of people rejecting their offer, is the one thing that is always holding them back. So, what a great training. Thank you, Miller Time. Well, listen, guys, I'm telling you, it's BOGO night again. Buy one, get one. We had Miller Time on here. We got another Flow Rider boy on tonight from Florida, a longtime client at TW3 and just part of the family and friend that I always call him my future neighbor, Larry, because he lives right in the exact area of the world I have got a goal that I'm eventually going to be his neighbor, because I love it down there in the whole St. Pete's, Clearwater, Bradenton area. And so I'm going to get down there one day and have me a place on the beach. But none other than Larry Dodson at LarryDodson1.com. How you doing, Larry?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here with y'all.
Well, it's good to have you on tonight, brother. So it's, when we have our mastermind groups on Wednesday night, I always can look for Larry, my future neighbor, to just always drop a value bomb.
It's scary at times. You just never know.
Well, it's just great. I love that you're constantly consuming great content and staying motivated, staying inspired yourself, and then you're just sort of like living off the overflow when people get around you. They're like, well, let me tell you something I read. You got to have 3 things, and you just light us up every Wednesday night.
Yeah. It's an awesome group. It brings out the best in me. And I've found that through the years and so many different things that I've done over my life. And one of the greatest things about it all is being with people that have the same goals, the same ideas, and using the same tools and technology to get there, because you really share a lot of common space.
Oh yeah, you're in the bunker with them, and then all of a sudden you become partners. Absolutely. And it's great. That's right. Well, let me ask you, just off the top of your head, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I told you when we started I didn't have any questions, but it just hit me. What are you reading right now? What books? What's keeping you motivated, and what are you pursuing in your professional business right now to stay sharp?
Well, I tell you what, I got 2 or 3 sitting over here, but I'm still working on The Common Path to Uncommon Success.
Okay.
And I picked up a couple of books. I'm still working on the one, Never Split the Difference. Hang on a second. Let me shake it all up here for you.
That's all right.
Yeah. Never Split the Difference. That's another one I got from you.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Very
through
good.
Our group. I'm a big thing. And I know we're in a Christian group here, so I will tell you I'm a big proponent of end time stuff, not from a negative standpoint, but
Sure.
from a very positive standpoint. I believe that anything that you can learn about the end times and what's going to happen is nothing but good stuff to learn and not to know, not to meant to scare or anything like that. So I'm doing a couple of those, Jimmy Evans books, some things like that. I just ordered a couple of new books that are coming today, as a matter of fact, on, let's see, his last name's Ford. I just ordered them quick the other day. Just kind of follow up with that. I heard about a great movie the other day called, let's see, what's the name of it? I can't really off the top of my head of it. I don't, yeah, here it is. Greenwood. And, yeah, Greenland. And it's a movie. It's very, very good, but it talks about end time stuff and things like that. So that's not to be a downer. That's just preparing myself, preparing my family.
Sure.
You know, I've been around this horn for a long time. I'm 70 and a half. We're really blessed. My wife's a couple of months older than me. We started dating in the 9th grade. It's one of those deals. Got married a month after I turned 19.
Oh, you're a sweetheart deal too. That's how Gina and I, yeah.
Absolutely. No, she's a sweetheart. I was just a tag along. But you know, we've been married 51 and a half years. We had our kids early, but yet our 3 kids didn't have kids until later. So my oldest grandson is just turning 10. So that has kept us young.
Wow. Well, you don't, you look young
in a
and
different place.
well, you are full of energy all the time. So I'm telling you what, you would give a 30-year-old a run for their money right now.
Well, I wear it well. Yeah.
With your energy. And I learned something. I think I knew it, but it just I was reminded of it Wednesday night when we were talking before the mastermind started. That you used to be a golf pro.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I started. My grandfather put cut off clubs in my hand back in 1954 when I was 4 years old. I had my first lesson from a club professional when I was 5 years old. I was competing in Northern Kentucky and Greater Cincinnati from the time I was 10 or 11 all the way through school. Didn't play in college, should have. I learned to play bridge, got in the fraternity. That was the wrong move. I should have played golf. But anyway, after I got out of the service, I was in the Air National Guard. But after I got out of the service, I became a club pro for a few years, and was really blessed at that point in time. I was able to teach, which has become one of my real passions through the years, regardless of anything I've ever done, is just to be able to teach it and pass it on to other folks. But really blessed to be able to play with a lot of sports figures and celebrities in that area, and just kind of rub shoulders and learn how great these people are off the field, which does nothing but just reinforce my feeling and belief of people in general.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, the old adage, they say never meet your hero heroes because sometimes they disappoint, but isn't it rewarding when you meet them and they don't? And it's like,
yeah, absolutely. You know, you're running with the right crowd, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed playing. I was a club professional. At one point in my career, I had the game to be on the tour. And when I finally figured out how to get the game, I didn't have the money, didn't have the wherewithal or the backing, you know, but that was okay. I just, with a young family and stuff at that point in time, I was better off at a club and being able to teach and help people on the weekends and that kind of stuff and let them have fun. That was all part of the game. So,
well, what are some golf lessons that you learned along the way that you're able to use in business, that you sort of been able, maybe some mindset things that you picked up in golf that that has translated over into helping you in your professional life? Because I know you're an insurance guy or come from that field too. You've been in sales and in different things. I know that you've done a lot of things. So
I've done. In fact, I've done so much with so little for so long. I'm absolutely qualified to do anything with nothing.
I love it.
But yeah, I tell you what, the biggest lesson I learned in my golf career that I was able to carry on into the rest of my career is to wake up every morning and forgive yourself.
Oh, wow.
Just to be able to understand that there are going to be situations and challenges, and to give the best you possibly can at any and all times, and everything else will take care of itself. And that's okay.
Oh, I love that. That is great.
It's really true. Yep.
I went and took golf lessons from a pro one time, just once.
I remember that was a couple of years ago. You even had some videos somewhere.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. I did. And I don't know if you were a big wrestling fan, or we say in the South, wrestling fan growing up in the 80s.
Tried it one day.
Yeah, it's sort of like male soap operas is all it was, you know. But coming up in the Southeast in my childhood, there was this group of wrestlers that had Ric Flair and Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, and there was one other. And so they were called the Four Horsemen. And around here, they were just as big as any football, basketball, baseball player around. I mean, and so fast forward, I got to be friendly with one of those wrestlers, Tully Blanchard. And so I got to, he got saved and became a prison evangelist. And I would go in and play music for him, and then he would preach. And so I developed, well, he loved golf. I loved golf, just wasn't good at it. He said, well, I want to help you out, Wilson. I'm going to take you to my golf pro. And he took me over to Pinehurst, and we took videos of it and all that. And you would understand this. I had a very, very pressed stance. I mean, I was trying to compensate for a slice. And so I was pressing my irons and basically turned into a hook, you know. And so, but I learned how to take all of that awkward stance and everything and just at least get it, play my weakness, which I'm predictably going to hit it this way all the time. So I would just adjust for it, right? Which meant I'm aiming 45 degrees off axis just to get the ball, you know, is what that turns into.
Exactly.
Well, he's trying to straighten me out, right? So he takes me and they videotape me and they show me all the things. So they readjust the club in my hand. I had a very strong grip. They changed it to a weak grip. All of this stuff that you know about. Well, I tell you, for the next year, I'm shanking that ball. I cannot hit that ball square to save my life. But I kept saying, but you got to hit it this way. If you learn to swing it this way, correct your swing, the long of this, the end result. And lo and behold, I actually hit the ball better now than I ever have. I'm not nowhere near a scratch golfer. But that process right there translates so much for me. You're talking about forgiving yourself. I had to learn to trust people that are on the outside. In other words, quit listening to yourself. Quit listening to this is what y'all do. Let someone else guide you. Put your trust in their expertise. Let them, and even though you don't see those results immediately, you trust the process because they're trying to take you to another level of golf, which I would have never been able to go with this awkward, just goofy looking stance that I had. So when you were saying forgive yourself, that was one of the things that was a great lesson, because I was like, I just know I'm going out here, I'm going to struggle, but I'm just going to make sure the swing is on plane. I'm gripping it this way, and eventually I'm going to start making good contact. And it did. It took a while, but it did.
Sure. One of the things I learned through the years, and I've done the MBTI and I've done all that kind of stuff. And one of my biggest, I won't say hangups, but one of the biggest drawbacks that I have is I'm definitely a black and white guy.
Yeah, me and you are a lot alike.
I have no creative bones in my body whatsoever. It's really unfortunate. So I struggle with that. But one of the things that I have learned through the years, and when I talk about giving yourself grace, is that when I started teaching and learning how to play, it was always a certain way. I had to perfect the correct stance, the correct swing, the correct result, the correct follow through, and everything else. And then when I started teaching others, realizing that everybody comes from a different physical set, and we all want to use the basics, but sometimes we have to modify those basics just a little bit and modify the procedure and the process, for lack of a better term, to get the result that we all want. And that's why I have loved being able to teach through the years and helping people in different areas and whatever, knowing what we need to learn, but yet finding different ways to get them there, because everybody's kind of at a different place when they come into the picture.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there is a formula, there is a right way, but that right way is interpreted different because the person holding that club in their hand is a different person, different frame, different set of.
Exactly right.
So you have to.
We all bring different pictures into the game to begin with. So we all start from a different place. That's good stuff. Yeah.
Good stuff. I love it. Well, I'm on the phone here with Larry Dotson of LarryDotson1.com. He is a salesman. He is a business professional. Larry, how long have you been with us at TW3 now? It's got to be at least 7 or 8 years now, isn't it?
It's six. It'll be six. It'll be 6.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's right at 6. Well, right at 6 years, I guess, this past month or so, April or May. Yeah.
And
been through the law. You can't get rid of me.
Well, hey, we don't want to, man. You're part of the pillars of TW3 now. At this point, I mean,
I just listen. I just love being around you and my guru Gary. I mean, he's the guy. always has been. He never gave up on me. He's still not giving up on me, and that's great. So
yeah, I love it.
So, but being part of the organization, and I have watched it grow. And I tell you what, you are so right when you say you've been able to help so many people, through the years, and regardless of where they are now and what they've done, that they've taken this and I'll be honest with you, I've looked at a couple of different things along the way, along my time here. And I heard a couple other people in the past couple of weeks on the mastermind say, you know what, this is the best deal in town. It's not the most widely known, but front to back, top to bottom, this deal's the most put together one there is out there.
I appreciate that, and appreciate your loyalty and being there. I mean, it is. At the end of the day, it's the people. I think where we just stand, we are second place to no one. Is the quality of people that we have in this organization is just honestly, it's breathtaking to me sometimes, because I just look around and say, how did this happen?
Sure. Absolutely.
But
surround yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with the winners and hang with them every chance you get. That's why the conference is so great. I've thoroughly enjoyed them. And unfortunately, we had to do the virtual one last year, but I got a lot out of that too. And the one before, that I was there and became one of Gary's groupies.
Gary's Groupies, yeah. We're gonna have to sell some T-shirts at the conference called Gary's.
I was thinking about that. Yeah. Hey, why not, buddy? I'm proud to wear it.
Absolutely.
He's a trooper. And there's so many other people that are so accomplished, and Chris, the guy that's on before me tonight. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I met him a couple of years ago. Had dinner across the table with him that night and just listened to the stuff and see where he's been and what he's done and heard his story and seeing what he's accomplishing now. That's motivation in and of itself. It's great stuff. They're great people.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, everybody there comes from different backgrounds, different perspectives, different life journeys. But at the same time, it does seem like there's this one common thread through them all. And that is people that have, a big appetite for everything that life has for them. And they know what it's like to be disappointed and had something disrupt that journey and then had to come back from it.
Yep. Well, I have been there. I was thinking about this when you decided that you wanted to do this interview, and I'm thinking, well, let's see, and I was thinking about a title because I talked about the groupie and the good neighbor and all that kind of stuff. And then I thought, okay, I could also title myself as the one offer. Number one off, OFF apostrophe R, because I have been the victim in my career. I was almost 40 years in the insurance business field. And I've done it all. I started out with Prudential in 1976, and The Rock, and been home office, executives in different companies, and basically life and health and variable annuities and trust and estate planning and that kind of stuff. A lot of trust work toward the end or later years, but 4 different times in my career, I was the one offer. Everybody else above me remained through mergers and acquisitions or whatever. And I was the top dog to get the axe. It was just one of them, be mergers and acquisitions, company restructuring. And I'm talking about big names, I'm talking about Manufacturer's Life. I'm talking about some of the real biggies and different changes they were going through. And so, but that's okay. You know, I was absolutely hurt and crushed and everything else. But the bottom line is, you know, it is what it is. And you just kind of pick yourself up by the bootstraps and move on. But I was still able to, you know, land in different places and being able to continue my career in areas of helping clients and helping other agents, which was what my real niche was, helping other agents and, you know, literally being in the field with them, not teaching them from a classroom standpoint, but being in the field, helping them develop their clients, helping them develop, you know, mega cases and that kind of stuff. That was kind of my thing. And I always enjoyed it, you know, imparting wisdom and helping them succeed. So.
Yeah. Well, then I tell you, that tells me that, you know, just like your experience in very similar when you was talking about that, it reminded me of a little bit of what happened to Lori, our Lori, Miss Spelling Bee. I don't know if you, where she was a corporate trainer for AT&T and Yellow Pages.
Right.
And had they wanted her to train this other lady or train this other person, I don't know if it was a lady, and tell her everything, show her everything. And as soon as she got her trained, they gave her the axe. And so in other words, she was training her replacement because they were mergers and acquisitions, you know, the chop. And it reminds me the importance of having something that is yours and you can own your own career, and you don't have your future and your destiny, you know, in the pockets of someone else, because no one's going to care about you more than you. And that's the
one of the greatest things I found about this business, because being in insurance for all these years and being, quote, independent, because I was a broker, and you work on these deals and all this thing, and that's great. And you're independent, and you get your commission checks, and they don't own you. Bullcrap, because the bottom line is they come in, they change the deal, they change the policy. You understand that from health insurance. They change the policy. All of a sudden, this one is no longer. Now you're going to start doing this one. Now you're no longer competitive. Well, guess what? They're controlling you.
That's exactly
And when you find something like GW3, yep, now you understand what true freedom is, and you understand what true going after it can be. And yep, give yourself grace every morning, because you're going to mess up one way or the other. But as long as the goal's there, it's all on you.
That's right. And it's okay.
You got to take the big boys out of the picture.
That's
way
right.
Or the other. So.
And to use a baseball metaphor, you can strike out 70% of the time and still be a millionaire.
Babe Ruth. He was almost a millionaire.
Yeah. Well, for that time period, you know, he probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have Larry Dodson with LarryDodson1.com on tonight. If you want to meet this gentleman, he is going to be at the conference as well in Greenville, South Carolina on September 7th through the 9th.
I may be sitting out front taking tickets, but I'll be there.
No, you're going to be right up here on the round table with us, brother. You're going to be eating that Southern barbecue, and we're going to be yucking it up for sure.
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be great. A lot of good people there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. We'll be back right after this. Take it away, guys.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
So we're back, and we have a few moments with Chris and Terry to take your questions. So let's get into them.
All right. So I'm trying to operate this apparatus over here, but I don't know if it's working. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like at Talladega Nights. I don't know what to do with my hands. I guess I should lower the music, right?
Eventually.
Just
turn it up.
We need to get in this segment and start talking, right? All right. Yeah. All right. So what's questions we got there, Mr. Reagan?
All right. First questions. These come from email.
Yes.
TerryWilson3.com/contact. If you want to email us and ask your questions. I'm wanting to build a virtual sales force and agency of my insurance business. How would TW3 be able to help with this?
Chris, if someone's got an independent agency out there and they're wanting to build a sales force and all that, what are some strategies you could offer them, maybe using some of our tools or training and things that you do to build? Because you're doing you've got a broker house down there where you're doing this type of financing, and the word always escapes me, but what do you call it? Factoring. Yes, you got factoring there, and you're educating people and equipping them to do that. So how would people be able to use these tools in the insurance business, which is not your business, but similar in the fact that you got salespeople and stuff like that?
Oh, the thing I like about TW3 and the things that you do here is, one, the group is always bringing new information, which is good. Two, you're always innovating what you're doing, which is great. And then third, the tools that you have available here at TW3 are really something you can use for every business that I can think of, right? So like for myself, I go through and I set up my ads to run to my funnel, which runs to my automated setups, right? Where I got my automated emails going out, my automated text messages go out, things like that. And then they set up to my automated calendar so that I can just make my call and do my thing. And that works in my business. That works in insurance too. That works in every kind of business that I can think of.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because all the moving components that Chris is talking about, from generating the lead or the traffic to qualifying that lead or traffic to informing that, traffic to whether it's a right fit or not, all of that with these tools allows you, that's the power of these tools. It allows you to scale. A one-man band could be a full orchestra just because you've got all of these components moving in harmony to, get the leads, qualify the leads, and close the leads. So it's a pretty cool thing here. So it's a great question. What's next, Reagan?
Our second question was, what are some ways I can get started with a no out-of-pocket expense?
Well, financing. Financing is, we got all kinds of different financing. And I meant to say this up on the front end, shoot, but I'll say it now. If you are not a member at TW3 and you'd like to get started, but finances has always been an issue, either getting approved or getting the right financing. We're bringing on some new financing partners that has got some really great stuff, no money down, guaranteed approvals in a lot of cases, got a lot of great stuff. We're going to be unveiling that Wednesday night. We're going to be talking to our elites about that, but I want to do a special Zoom call before our mastermind that night. So if you'd like to be on that Zoom call, you don't have to be a member. It's going to be at 8:00 and I have to be off before 9 because I've got our elite mastermind that night. Come to that Zoom call, and you can get the link to that just going by to terrywilson3.com/contact. Let me know, hey, I want to be on it, and I'll send you the link. But we've got some ways where you can get in our system, start learning it, using it, making money with it. And then through this creative financing partners that we're developing, some of our in-house stuff that we're doing, it's going to allow you to pay for your system once you start getting producing. And so there's a lot of great offers. And here's why I'm doing it. Next, it's actually this, when's the 1st? When's July 1st? Isn't it this Friday? Is it Thursday or Friday? I can't remember.
Un momento.
But this coming week is our 13th birthday. We started July 1st.
It's Thursday.
Yeah. So we started July 1st, 2008, and we're going on 13 years here at TW3.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. And so I wanted to do something, a little birthday bash, but we're not going to have a podcast next Monday because it's July 4th weekend and all that. So we're not going to do anything. But I wanted to do something. And so in a celebration of TW3, I wanted to have this special sort of a Zoom call with those who want to get started, just need some extra help getting there. We've got some things we might be able to help you with. And we're going to inform our elites this Wednesday night at 9 how we're able to do some of this. And this is really cool stuff. So can't wait for that. But to answer question 2 about how I can get started, no out-of-pocket expense, we have some financing options that are pretty cool. And
I'm excited for the new financing stuff that we got.
So come to the Zoom call Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just send me your info at terrywilson3.com/contact, and I'll get that over to you.
Cool. Third question here. Other than selling your system, if I don't have an existing business, is there any other way to use your system and platform to make money?
So they don't have an existing business, and they don't necessarily want to sell ours. So Chris, what are some ways that you have found to make money in the system?
Well, a great way is to use the RMP offers, and set up to just refer things out, and you can market other people's stuff until you get where you want to go, I guess.
Exactly right. Well, that's the thing. You've got this system that generates leads, and that's the lifeblood. You can go in any business you want at that point.
Yep.
And you can be in any part of a business you want. Like, I think where that person's coming from, I can hear it in their email, is, hey, I want to do something. I've got an entrepreneurial bug about me, but I don't necessarily want to be in sales. So how can I work as a person in the background and make money? Well, learn the system, use it, drive leads over to other referral marketing partners like Chris was saying. Let them worry about selling it.
Yeah.
You don't have to, and see, this isn't affiliate marketing. You get paid to send them the lead.
Right.
So it's
regardless of if they buy anything or
yeah,
not.
yeah.
Which is good.
So that's what's so cool about this. Another cool thing is when you become a member, you got access to this data list to where you can get thousands and thousands of opted in data. You could turn around and just sell that data. If all you did was buy at wholesale our data, turn around and resell that data at retail,
yep,
you could make $50-$75 real easy right there.
It's true.
And the data is pretty accurate, actually, because I've bought a few lists from you myself, and I found them to be fairly accurate.
Yeah, I mean, they're not perfect. There's going to be, shrinkage, if you will, on the list, and because you have people that got on a list, and then by the time it went out there to the ethos, everybody was popping them, and so they got off the list or changed the number or changed their email or did something. So it's not going to be perfect, but we've found it's a high percentage, 85% or more. It's
just not bad when you're working with numbers
when you're
in the thousands.
Working with masses, that is not bad. That's right.
Yeah. Last question here. I thought robo-dialers were illegal. How can your system have this and be legal? Well, this is a trick question because actually this is an illegal business. We're not, yeah.
Well, you caught us. You caught us, and we're out.
We're operating outside. Dadgummit. And you caught on. It's been a good 12, 13
years, and they finally robo-dialing to a data list that's not giving you permission in most states is illegal. And there are federal laws that regulate robo-dialing, which says it has to be opted in. And that's why our dialer only works with our data list.
That's a common point of question there, because people will ask, well, I have a list that I've gotten, some other way with my other business or with, another program. We don't let you use it with ours. And it's not because, we don't trust you. It's just more of it's for your protection and ours. Because there are laws in place that say you can only call certain people in certain areas. And we know that the list that we have is, following all the guidelines.
That's exactly right. And to your point, there's this overarching federal regulation. And then you get down to state by state, and different AGs interpret that federal law differently. Yep. And so 2 no-go states is Arizona and Indiana. Mm-hmm. If you're in Arizona, Indiana, our voice broadcast dialer won't even go out because the AG in those particular states is like, you're going to get pinched.
Yeah.
If you try to and so we've just set our dialer to just don't go there. Mm-hmm. Even though we could argue a case in federal court, but who wants to spend that money and expense and all that?
Much easier to just be like, no.
That's fine. You've upped the ante to the point it's not fun playing.
Which it kind of shows the timeline, I guess, of our business too with that, because when we started doing it, really started using it about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And the laws weren't the same. Not only the laws, but the optical view of a robo-dialer wasn't quite the same either.
Right.
I mean, I think everybody's annoyed when it's a robo-dial that obviously you're not going to buy what they're selling or anything. Right. But 10 years ago, if you called an elderly market in Florida and said, hey, I could probably lower your insurance premiums, so you should just want to give me a call back. That wasn't quite as a nuisance as we see it today.
Right. So. Right. Well, and I train my folks and advocate, if you are annoying people with the voice broadcast dialer, which is the polite way of calling a robo-dialing is the nefarious or the derogatory way of calling a voice.
You're leaving a voicemail when it's an actual business proposition, yes. But whenever you're robo-dialing people, you're probably doing it wrong.
If you're annoying them, if you're annoying people in your marketing in any way, in the masses, I'm not saying, just showing up on YouTube live stream is probably annoying some people right now, but
sure,
so you can't 100% protect yourself from, but if you're getting a lot of pushback and a lot of people, then there's something wrong with your engagement process. Yeah. And I'll let the cat out of the bag. One of the ways we teach our guys is how to frame and articulate a message that doesn't sound like a voice broadcast style. but it actually sounds like a real person calling another real person and miss them and needs them to call them back. Mm-hmm. If you do it the way, there's a technique to all this. This is why I tell people all the time, at the end of the day, all we're doing is selling tools. And some people can grab a hammer and they can build this beautiful mansion, and other people, they can't stop hitting their thumb. And you can't sit there and scream, well, this hammer doesn't work. No, it works. Yeah. But there's techniques and there's expertise and all that. Well, Chris, dude, what are you going to be talking about tomorrow night at 6 p.m. On the Leadership Tree?
Well, last week I did a segment on building business credit, and we talked about the differences between personal credit and business credit profiles. And this week I'm doing a follow-up to that, where we're going to talk about making good use of business credit to actually build your business and benefit you.
Nice. Well, guys, you've got to be over at tw3radio.com and check out the Leadership Tree with Chris Miller. We call him Miller Time because he's always enjoying the high life and he's always bringing the heat, and can't wait to see you in September, brother.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that, man. And hey, look at me. I get to be on the show the birthday week of TW3, so that's kind of cool.
That is right. Well, you are what this business is all about, man. I'm telling you, I love telling your story, and I'll never get tired of it. Here's Chris coming down to the conference in Greenville. He picks up a couple things, and he just flat slaps, takes off. And
it's awesome.
It's awesome to see, and it's awesome to be around. I love being around this guy. His energy is always upbeat. He's always looking at the positive. Like tonight, it just illustrated he's not afraid of no.
Yeah.
No doesn't break this man, and I love it. I love being around folks like this. Guys, thank you for being on with us tonight. Like I said, next Monday we'll be off for July 4th. However, we'll be back in the saddle the following Monday. If you would like, and if you've got clients, if you're on here tonight and you're a TW3 member and you got clients that says, hey, they would like to do something, then get them on the Zoom call. I'll be taking questions. They'll be able to interact. It won't be a one-way dialogue like we have on the podcast, but they'll be able to interact, ask me questions. But to have them on that Zoom call, we're only going to go for about 45 minutes, and ask my boys, we start on time. So I will be starting at 8 o'clock. So you can come in late, but you're going to miss something and probably have a lot of content we can't repeat. So be there 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Go to terrywilson3.com/contact if you would like that link. Until next time, we will see you later.
Thank you for listening to our show today at terrywilson3.com.
Get a free sample copy of the book You Are Worth More by going to terrywilson3.com now.
If you would like more information on how we can take your business and your life to the next level, then please visit us online at terrywilson3.com.